We should go live in just a little bit.
I know. Well, let's give it a few more minutes.
Oh my gosh, we gotta do this. That's what the newscasters do. All right.
Patrick Garrett is live now.
We're live now?
We're already live.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so welcome you all to the Dr. G Show. Holy crap, it's been like a long time. This is episode 170, which is insane.
That is.
And this has, are you going to share that?
Yes.
She's going to watch the show while we're on the show, right?
Kind of keep up with comments and stuff. Hey, look, I'm watching.
You are watching. So, during the COVID, last one was in March, so during COVID, basically I kind of took a little break. We're revamping our office, and we added Kansas City in, and then we're added some more doctors in, so we're getting ready to do all that. So I've taken a little time off, and now back again. So.
And we're really happy that you are.
Aww.
And I'm honored to be the first one
back
to. Thanks.
And we survived. Yeah, me and so when I stopped this for a little bit, took a pause, then me and Marty Spence, we started doing. She wanted to do a podcast, so we did a video podcast called "Alive by Summer," and we're alive. So now it's about thriving. So it'll be good seeing old faces again, and I'm glad you guys are joining me. I've had a few patients talk about the show, but I was like, but I haven't did it in a while. So.
Yeah.
So this topic we're going to talk about today is one of my favorites. Hey Ruben. Hey Tim. We're going to talk about
for joining us.
reversing chronic disease the easy way, basically about restoring normal physiology. So this is one of my favorite talks. I did a kind of like a little talk over at presentation at Soma Therapy with Jenny Helms.
Yeah. Beautiful place. Love her.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she's one of our favorite people, and it was wonderful to do the presentation, but doing it, I was just like, I miss doing this stuff. I miss doing my show. Okay, I gotta get back in the group. So, we're back. We have a special guest today who's been on here many times.
Hello.
And it's the great Suzanne Blockett.
Blockett.
So, when she played basketball, they would always be like, Suzanne, block it. Is that right?
That's a married
You
name.
played basketball, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
All right.
I did. Hi, Diane. And
Hey.
let us know if if our volume is good enough for everyone to hear, because we don't have our microphone.
Yeah, we don't have our. I didn't bring the video equipment up because this is just like spur of the moment.
And then we have all this beautiful overhead light.
Yeah, so
and
we're
stuff,
so we look older like this now. People are gonna be like, "Oh my
It's
God,
that
Dr. G
filter.
looks like
it's the filter that he's got on his
he's
camera.
like 35. Oh my God, he looks so old." That's what they're gonna think.
Yeah.
All right, so
No, they're not gonna.
Suzanne is one of my right tribe. She is part of the reason I am the way that I am these days, and helped me with kind of my healing and kind of being there through my transition to becoming the best me possible, which has been amazing. And she is a business consultant. She's pretty big time. And then she also has, for a long time, the number 2 company for women only?
No, for startup companies, mostly women.
Mostly women.
Yeah.
Sexism?
Uh-uh.
That's reverse sexism.
No, it's not. It's just part of the Wise Women ICT group that got started last year. And so there's just a lot of women who are in startup companies right now. So
Yeah.
no, I did not exclude anybody else.
Not men?
Like
Okay.
kids or dogs or anything.
So if my hamster wanted to start a business, would you help?
Yes.
Alright, so that's good. Alright. It's not sexist or speciesist. Speciesist.
Speciesist. Hi, Katie.
Can you see better than me?
I think since I'm
I'm
wearing
gonna
my
say
glasses,
it's
I
the-
think
I'm gonna say it's the
Dawn.
lighting.
Dawn, hi Dawn,
Alright.
and Katie. Yep. So, but
All
yeah, the number
Since-
2 company. I actually just finished can I mention the website that I just finished?
Sure.
I have a few more little tweaks to do on it. Sherilyn Dalkey is also a friend of ours in our Right Tribe group,
Yes.
and she is a therapist. And I just recently finished her website, Tree of Life Holistic Wellness.com. So go check it out.
All our friends are
It's
therapists for some
beautiful.
reason. Well, why is
And
that?
it was, we did it another way, and then we changed it again, and it's just phenomenal. So go check out her site. Give her some love on Facebook and stuff like that too.
And she's the one that posted pictures of us hiking this last weekend too.
Mm-hmm.
So she's pretty awesome.
She sure is.
And she kept up. Like, it was pretty amazing. So, okay.
About Dr. G.
So
Dr.
then,
G, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Let's
don't-
let our audience know more about you, because it has been a while since we've been online.
Yeah.
So talk about yourself a little bit. Tell us about yourself.
Well, so we'll do the short version, okay? So those of you guys that don't know me, I have been in practice for probably like 17 years or so. Patients all over the world, which is crazy. And like, I'm always like, okay, how did you hear about me in Korea, kind of thing, or even South Africa, which is weird. And so I practice what's called functional lifestyle medicine, which is really something I kind of picked up from coursework I did at Harvard Medical School, lifestyle medicine program. And it was basically just know how physiology works, know what we do to mess it up, teach people to stop messing it up. And that like blew my mind, because that's not what we're ever taught. We're taught management. So that's what we want to kind of talk about today, is not managing, but really how do you create normal again, right? So for a long time, that's been my goal, is just create normal. And I've added more stuff on and gotten better at it. And so since then, I've been a national speaker. I spoke all over the country, but last year I got to be an international speaker for the first time. I was the keynote speaker at the International Symposium on Health and Wellness in Bangkok, Thailand.
That's awesome.
So they flew me halfway across the world to speak for an hour, and then I went and spent the rest of the time on a beach in Phuket.
Nice.
Which is not how I say it. So.
Phuket. Ruben, hello. I think we have a few other people that have popped on here.
Nice.
Kendra, nice to see you on here.
There we
There
go.
we are.
Okay, sorry, I touched the wrong button.
Ashley, hey, thanks for joining us. What?
So,
And go ahead.
education-wise, I'm super nerd, just so you know. So I've, oh yes, I did that symposium. But then I came back to the U.S. But
it was a little vacation.
Part of my background, I did lots of continuing education, post-grad stuff from Harvard Medical School, their lifestyle medicine, Yale Medical School had a lifestyle medicine program. I did all their stuff. Did all of University of Melbourne. They have a coursework on epigenetics that I did.
Good stuff.
Biomedical engineering. There was an OC course for that through Yale University. And so that was an interesting course. I learned a lot of stuff in there. And then I have 4 postdoctoral diplomas, 2 in clinical nutrition, 1 in integrated medicine, 1 in functional medicine. I sit on a whole bunch of boards. I'm part of the Harvard Medical School's Postgrad Association since 2006 from doing the lifestyle medicine stuff. So.
And he brings me on as a co-host, as a guest
And
today. I just nod.
And even though I'm
Some of the
a DC by licensure, but I also went to medical school right after chiropractic graduate school, and then wanted to learn more and did 3,500 hours of clinical rounds. So I got to be first assistant on surgery, which is pretty dope. But
Awesome.
every other round I did, I hated, because all we did was manage people, more meds, refer out for surgery. That's it, and I did not like that. So I quit 6 months from graduating and started practicing lifestyle medicine, or actually clinical nutrition, natural medicine, and then escalated to functional medicine, and then finally really cultivated something that really worked for me and the patients, which was functional lifestyle medicine. But I'm chairman of the board of directors. See, we can go on forever.
Yes,
So
we
chairman
can.
of the board of
He
directors for the
does a
American
lot of
Board of
stuff.
Functional Medicine, chairman of the board of American Board or American Academy of Functional Medicine.
Would you be comfortable talking about your future plans?
You mean about how getting married and settling down and having children? Well, you know,
Business plans.
the list goes on and on and on.
The list goes on.
But also, some of you guys might know, I do the Cooking After Dark with Dr.
That's
G.
right.
So we did a series on that, and
Hi,
then
Diva.
I actually had a TV show for years for a couple years, cooking with, I don't know, Getting Healthy with Dr. G was a cook show about natural medicine and all that. But I finally think that Cynthia Hunter in SoCal, she got me to write my gourmet taco cookbook. So this year, I published my first cookbook, Cooking After Dark with Dr. G, Gourmet Tacos, on Amazon. And it's like a hard book in Kindle, so I'm like, I feel like I'm legit now, right?
And we need to get that information so everybody can hop on Kindle. Do you have?
It's good.
It's
I don't know. So
how do you do Kindle? Do you just get on there and look up your name of the book, or look up your name? We need to work on that. If anybody has any information.
But it's all on Amazon. Yeah. So that, you know, there's more. I'm just super nerd. So in my office, I used to have this whole wall of plaques, all these post-grad things and certifications, diplomas. And I took them all down because we're adding new doctors to our practice. We're becoming more specialized practice. So like I'll be specialized in reversing Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, irritable bowel. Someone will be specializing in reversing diabetes and helping people with weight. And then another one for thyroid. And then another specialist for anxiety and depression. But we'll all follow the same functional lifestyle medicine protocol. Right. And then we have some health coaches. So we're revamping. Thanks to COVID, I finally had time to really pause and kind of change things up to say how can we better help patients. And then we're expanding to Kansas City. So we have an office actually available there right now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's about me.
Things are moving along.
Super nerd.
Super nerd.
Tons of stuff. So, you know, as you guys know, this is interactive. So, if you guys, and make sure if we're not speaking loud enough, you let us know because we don't have our mic and our lighting today. But this is interactive. So, this is your time. I'm presenting my stuff that I want to talk about. Suzanne's going to interject all the stuff that she wants to talk about. But you guys feel free to interject the stuff that you want to talk about too. So, if you have questions, you want to go a different direction a little bit, that's fine too. So I'm just here to overwhelm everybody with a bunch of information, and then we like to see what direction we go.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're a bunch of squirrels.
Sometimes we are, so hang in there.
Yes.
Hey, Tracy.
What's up, T-Dog?
T-Bird.
T-Bird?
Yeah.
We're the V-Men.
Uh-oh, do y'all have new things?
No. So, this idea of like restoring normal physiology, like this is the most amazing way to approach pretty much everything in your life. We have this kind of like emotional thing that we talk about, like the hero's journey and the processing of like becoming the best you, regardless of everyone else. I love talking about that stuff. But the physiology part of disease is really interesting because disease is almost never disease. Disease is actually a normal expected outcome from an abnormal lifestyle. So, take a few examples. So let's say someone eats a bunch of crap, they feel like crap, they go to their doctor, I feel like crap, well, let's take your blood sugar, oh my god, it's high, let's put you on insulin, and then you keep taking insulin and you have a side effect of that, and then you feel tired, we'll put you on antidepressants, then the side effects of antidepressants, then we'll put you on this, and eventually you end up on this huge list of management medications or even a bunch of supplements, but
and not only that, all of that stuff changes your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Your moods, and it costs money.
It costs money.
I mean, it affects you mentally, physically, the whole 9 yards. I mean, because it isn't going anywhere. It gets in your body, it gets in your system, and it's there.
Yeah.
So it's not only just remedying the problem temporarily. It's like chemicals on the farm. You know, it stays there forever. It doesn't come out. So it's crazy stuff.
Then, you know, you have this whole process, you lose your legs and eventually your kidneys, and then you die from complications, right? But then the functional lifestyle approach, the restorative physiology approaches, why the hell is your blood sugar out of whack in the first place, right? Well, because I eat 150 pounds of added sugar in 50 different forms like most Americans, and there's a consequence to it. All right, so let's change that. And then you don't need to manage it for the rest of your life. Then you don't need all the side effects and all that stuff. You just get to be healthy and happy and live a long life, right? So it's a whole different kind of approach. So one of the most basic type of like example, and it is super cheap and super simple to fix the most complex patients. We have patients that fly over here, have been to every specialist, and what we do, there's like, it can't be this simple. It is that simple. It really is. Just create normal, right? And so that's why I have high job satisfaction. I love my job.
Yes.
But let's say someone goes to the desert. If they go to the desert and there's no water, and they sweat, the body's trying to cool the body down. If you do not consume water, you will stop sweating, and then you end up having headaches and lethargic, you get tired. You'll eventually end up with delirium and a coma, and you'll die. But what's the cure? Water. Well, it can't be that simple. Let's talk about the physiology of the delirium, and let's do a whole 12-hour course on explaining the physiology of that, and how then you could just take this supplement that will help with the delirium, and then you could do this, and when you get in a coma, we'll put you on a bunch of machines. It's water. It's just water.
Going back to the actual basics.
Yeah. So the craziest thing that I ever learned was when you were a baby, you were a baby, not me.
Not us.
No. When I was a little baby, when there was baby Dr. G in his mama's belly,
Can you imagine?
it's probably in there talking shit to the son, like, what you looking at, fool?
Right.
And so when you're a baby, you are literally created from all the food that mom ate during that 9 months. So every baby is literally a food baby, right? So then, if we're created 100% from food, every hormone you get is from food, every neurotransmitter, every nerve, skin, cell, bone is from something you eat. It's like the craziest concept to kind of buy into. But that means everything after you're born has to be more biochemistry of food to feed and replace that biochemistry of food that you started with.
That's amazing.
So it's
I've
like
never
cars
thought of that.
eating cars.
Yeah.
And then you never...
And that's part of that rap that Kendra's wanting us to do later.
Which rap?
She wants us to do a rap for functional medicine.
Mm.
Cars eating cars. Isn't that Blondie?
Cars eating cars.
Yeah, isn't it?
Blondie.
She
did that
She
rap.
did the rap. And I think in part of it she says cars eating bars. And
You guys know the rap she did with...
Can't think of it right now.
It was not Cool Mo D. It was the Get Fresh Crew. No, it was one of the first raps. The Sugar Hill Gang.
Oh, that's
I think
it.
she did it with the Sugar Hill Gang, but she was rapping about the guy that was the leader of that.
Donna wants to know if you're vegan.
No, I'm not. I post vegan stuff. I cook mostly vegan all the time, mainly because I just graze because it's super cheap and easy.
Yeah.
But no, I eat meat. So my friends that are vegan point that out very much when I post on vegan websites. But
I always try to maintain, if I'm going to eat something, Rapper's Delight. Thanks, Deb.
that's rappers.
Yeah, and so when I make it a point that if I'm going to eat meat, I'm going to try to eat organic. I mean, nothing's really technically all organic, right? So I try to do that. And I've been vegan before,
Yeah.
and I lost a lot of weight, FYI,
Was I vegan?
because protein, it's hard to fulfill all that protein.
No, it's not. It's not. An
The
ox
stirring up.
eats.
Is it
getting
considered
me off?
more pescatarian?
I'm more
Diana
pescatarian.
wants to know.
So
Yeah.
two of my
Yeah.
daughters forever were pescatarian.
Can you name all the different ones?
Pollo-tarian,
It's
pescatarian, ovo-lactotarian, ovotarian, vegetarian.
I think there's one more.
Pototarian.
Maybe.
Pototarian?
I don't know.
Chingasawe
You know what? We need
vegetarian?
to look that up, but we don't have our
I think
computer on today.
Chingasawe-tarian.
Oh, is it?
Chingasawe?
Yeah, I thought there was one more.
Yeah. It's either Hota or Chingasawe.
So, yeah. There you go. There's like all kinds of Tarians.
Yes. So, I was vegetarian kind of off and on with, just to support my daughters, but I don't have any problems with eating meat. I think that they should be ethical and all that kind of stuff. But I don't necessarily have a problem with that. But I have lots of patients that are, and so we always support them and help them. But the biggest, strongest animals are vegetarian. But if you're vegetarian and you feel like meat helps a little bit, then eat your meat, right? You don't have to. The healthiest, longest living populations are not vegetarians.
Mm-hmm.
And so be vegetarian and be the healthiest, happiest. But if you need meat, eat meat. If you need something else, eat that. That's fine. We don't want to be hard and rigid with all that kind of stuff.
Right. Hey, Diane says, I've been looking at a lot of pescatarian recipes and kind of liking what I'm seeing. So if you have some handy, Diane, pop them on the screen there. Share.
Yeah.
Share
and
with us. We'd love to see them.
one of the things is, like, really the best way to ever eat for most people is to eat mostly vegetarian and flavor with a little bit of meat. And so not meat. Meat has very little vitamins, minerals, nutrients, right? And all the proteins, amino acids from the meat came from plants. So you want less meat, lots of biochemistry. So as we're replacing our biochemistry, we want fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, berries, legumes, greens, and brightly colored, vine ripened as much as possible. But we want as much biochemistry to replace all the biochemistry so we can be the strongest, healthiest we can be at any given time, because there is no cell in your body that's really over 10 years of age. So we are all a bunch of 10-year-olds walking around, and how well you replace your biochemistry is how well your hormones, your neurotransmitters, and your reparative processes are going to work.
That's awesome. How do you feel about the seasonal food? This is something that I've been looking into a little bit lately.
Yeah, so
because, like, in the fall you've got pumpkins and squash.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, it really should.
Yeah. Well, think about it. If you're going to the grocery store and you have the same type of products in the vegetable section, in the fresh food section.
Yeah.
Where is it coming from?
Right.
And we don't live in that territory right now. So if you had some feedback on that, all y'all out there, let us know how you feel about that.
One good question is, does anybody know, this is a shocking number, does anybody know the average number of different foods that an American will eat within a year? So is it 16 different foods, 50 different foods, or 100 different foods in 1 year? All right, you guys got to...
Okay, so say it again.
So the number of variety of different actual foods we eat within a year, the average American.
I don't think it's probably a lot. It's not a lot, is it?
It might be a lot. I don't know. Nobody
Hi, Sarah.
knows.
Donna, I just missed your comment there. Insurance. How does insurance cover the practice?
So I don't do any insurance.
Okay.
When we change practices...
16.
But yeah, we
said
just...
50. Sorry.
So
30.
30 was not even an option.
Well, she's
just making up her own numbers. She's like, you totally wrong.
She's a take charge kind of person.
That's the girl that's like, so she's awesome. You can imagine she's taking the test and like, Professor, there's 4 choices, but the real choice isn't even on here. You messed up.
Good job, Jessica.
That's what Jessica's saying.
Taking charge.
She's like, Dr. G don't know. So, what were we saying?
We were talking about all the different food types. You answered the question about the insurance, because I'm trying, y'all, if we get a little wacky here, I'm trying to keep up with the comments and the questions.
So the answer is 16. So most Americans only eat 16 different foods. And because of that, we want those 16 foods to be all year long, every single meal. And most, I would say most people for everything.
And that's my point.
If you go to the grocery store, everything around the edge is real. May not be healthy, but it's real food. But there's 40,000 items in the middle of the store, but they're all made from the same handful of basic ingredients. 85% of the American diet is just different forms of wheat, dairy, corn, and soy. So a candy bar, a bag of potato chips, and a Dr. Pepper, all are basically the same ingredients. And so it
Even
feels
in the
like we have a
natural
whole
food section, too.
a food cart full of stuff, but it's all the same stuff.
Yeah.
Even healthy people are just like,
even the healthy part of the
I'm going to eat
store
hemp
is the
nuts for
same.
the rest of my life every single day. Like, there's nothing
Well,
wrong
I mean,
with it.
like you go to the natural food section, and in there is like the meat product, and it's based, it's soy based.
Right.
So-
That's true. Every fake
Mhm.
meat that you're eating as a vegan or vegetarian, it
I
is
think
just
that's changing
it is
now
just
a little
wrong.
bit now. But
Mm.
hi, Janelle. Thanks for joining us.
Then you make it out of different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you think about this, like most people only eat one or two different beans within a year. When you're talking about birds, there's only two birds 99.99% of Americans will ever eat a year. That's chicken and turkey, and only one of those they eat one time a year. The rest is like, let's just eat chicken every time we eat
or it's
a bird.
processed.
Right.
You know.
We only eat a cow. We only eat a chicken, right? So we only eat a pig. So we got like 3 animals we get 99% of all our food from. But if you go, you know, I was joking with Jenny. I said, she's like, I've never been to Paris. I made some comment about Paris. And I was like, and she said, well, I've never been to Paris. I was like, well, you should get your man to take you to Paris. And she's like, oh, my man don't need to take me to Paris. I can take me to Paris.
Good deal.
I was like, all right, that's good. So,
Kaylin asks, isn't there only 3 actual brands as well?
oh yes, yeah, and Tyson's owned by China now. So yeah, it used to be all these
really?
different meat producers, and then they slowly consolidated, and then now even China owns one of the biggest meat providers for Americans, and they will literally take our food, ship it all the way back to China,
Kimberly.
process it, and put in stuff like horrible stuff, but also like trisodium phosphate, I believe, TSP, which is you can buy at the hardware store. They inject that back, and then they ship it all the way back here and sell it to us, and somehow it's more profitable. So that's where you got to watch out for, like wild caught salmon that has TSP in it. That will cause all kinds of weird problems that you don't even think about, because you're like, I'm eating wild caught from the ocean. But then at Dillon's they have 2. One that has one ingredient, which is wild caught salmon,
Right.
and then another one that's wild caught salmon plus this trisodium phosphate. Pretty messed up.
I tried to remember that the other day when I was looking at salmon,
Yeah.
and I couldn't remember the TSP.
Well, it's just
So-
it should have one word in there.
Yeah.
For food. So then, if you go to Paris, have you been to Paris? Oh, you should go to Paris.
Well,
Je suis.
I plan on it.
You plan on it?
I do.
All right. We should,
You know.
we should do a show from there, and then it's tax write-off.
Oh yeah.
All right. So,
Uh,
je suis parler
can we take
français.
some people with us?
No, I said I am speaking French. Oui.
Oh.
No,
No.
je parle français. So, le mot c'est pour plus
I
je sais.
don't know very many French words.
Oui.
You
I know one you know from the 70s or the 80s. It's voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
C'est
You know that? C'est soir.
I'm pretty sure there's a
She
song.
knows that song. She knows that song. Do you guys know that song?
That's the only thing I
Voulez-vous
remember about
coucher avec moi ce soir? Yeah, Christina Aguilera, they did a remake.
They
with-
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did a movie.
But anybody know what that means?
Okay.
So you ask them what it means, then when they post it, you just say yes.
Oh, I got heart. We got hearts.
Yes.
Were we singing? Did we get hearts because we were singing?
Not because of my voice, because of yours. So over in Paris,
Indra says croissant.
croissant. Oh, oui, oui, j'adore croissant. And you gotta
Croissant
go.
and pie.
I learned my French from Mr. Polito.
Oh,
Yeah,
very
took
nice.
4 years of French. Went over to France, and then immediately, instead of saying "Où est WC," said, "Where's your bathroom?" Freaking choked. I choked.
A lot of the travelers, the people that write the books and stuff, they talk about you really just need to know some phrases, and, and the bathroom is one of them, and you got to keep it short.
Because you can just
Also,
say
it's one
WC.
word.
You can just say WC. Water closet. Where's the bathroom?
Toilet.
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 Donde? No, that's Spanish. So in France, in the supermarché, you're supposed to buy local. It's shameful to go to the supermarché or the supermarket. But in the supermarché, I noticed one thing right off as an American. There was like 12 different birds you can pick from. You could get goose, you could get duck, you could get pheasant, you could get quail, you could get like you could get all these different ones. And so then what that does is it creates this wide variety, right? But as Americans, we're like chicken. That's all we're gonna eat. Chicken. So.
Well, it's interesting. We need to have other options available.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Instead, we got, if you know some hunters, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and you get free ducks in free geese in Riverside and ducks. Is that legal?
It is not. Don't take that.
If I hit it, can I keep it?
No.
Is that like a deer?
No, I think there's a law. Kansas has probably got a penalty.
I think it's illegal.
Yes.
If you hit it, don't tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody you hit that goose the other
think
day.
of all the stuff that they're eating.
No, I know they're all. You don't want to eat those. Not those geese. So that very core thing though is we are biochemistry that eats biochemistry. We're literally created from food, and we have to eat that food to replace all our hormones and neurotransmitters. So when people are like, "Oh, I don't make hormones," or "Oh, I'm not making treatment," there's some kind of dysfunction. Are you eating them? Right? Because after 1960, pretty much everything that you eat, drink, breathe, wear, and spray on your body is actually coal tar waste products for greater profitability. So I always love the example of gum. Most gum today, the color is petroleum, the flavor is petroleum, the three preservatives, or the preservative is paint thinner, toluene, and the three sugars are formaldehyde. So literally, it's like a complete petroleum product, but we consider that like a food item, right?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I got a book. Just
okay. Hey, and while he's doing that, Deb, thank you. She said whole. I'm thinking you meant foods. Whole Foods and Sprouts have pheasant, etc. in season. Deb.
What?
Yeah, you said Whole Foods.
They have pheasants?
That's cool.
I'm gonna eat a pheasant now. I eat quail eggs. You crack the little eggs, and they make little fried eggs like that.
That's cool.
It's the cutest thing in the world.
And then you just really eat them like.
Yeah.
I want to say something about what you said about consuming products, whether it's healthy product or not. That it actually, I heard something the other day from a spiritual guru who actually used the. Hi, Alicia. Who actually used the theory. What most people might think is a theory, but it made me really think, is that if you eat a banana, the banana becomes human.
That's exactly true.
So really, in essence, anything that we eat or drink becomes it becomes us.
Becomes poop or becomes human. Yeah?
Most likely we get some benefit out of it.
Oh, tons.
Right.
Tons.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
that's a very interesting concept.
Food
isn't
becomes human.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly the concept in reverse. I like that.
Yeah.
It's taking the view from the food's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
That apple's like, I want to be a human someday. No, I want to be a little boy someday. Right? And then the boy eats it, and it becomes the boy.
Becomes human.
Okay,
Absolutely. Okay, see what you got.
The concepts that we have seem cutting edge a lot of times. When I go speak at seminars, a lot of times people are just like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this. But what's really messed up was years ago, I went to this auction in Newton, and I bought this book. So this book, Graded Lessons in Physiology and Hygiene, I just thought it was a cool looking book. And then one day, I did what I don't do because I'm from Texas. I opened the book and started reading it. This is true, okay? I just keep books as decorations. In fact,
unless they're medical books.
Holly, who was the co-host of this show forever, in my other office, I had 4 or 5 bookcases, solid books. And she is like a Barnes & Noble girl. She's so nerdy. So she's like, the first time I met you, I saw all those books, and I was like, this guy's awesome. And then she would ask me, what do you think of this book? I'm like, I haven't read that book. What do you think of this book? I haven't read that book. She's like, but you own these books. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just pull concepts, and most of it's just, meh. So I don't. So, all right. So it's all just like, it's just like the hair. It's not.
Heather. Thanks for
it's just all
coming
show.
on here.
It's all show. Okay, so this book is from 1907 from McPherson School District in Kansas, right?
Just don't tell the library.
Yeah, it's just so it has a chapter in here called Adulteration of Food, right? And it says in there, let me get serious now. It says, many of our foods are sometimes spoiled by persons who manufacture and sell them, putting into them cheaper substances that are dangerous to your health. Such persons seem to care very little for the purity of food, but are chiefly interested in making the most money possible out of them. What a concept, right? But in 1907, they were warning children about this.
Oh, there was a really good documentary on this same topic about a guy. I'm terrible at remembering statistics and names, but there was a guy. Hi, Edna. Hi, Shelley. There was a guy who actually tested individuals on different things like petroleum and stuff like that. But his point was he wanted to get it into the hands of the media and Congress and all of that so that they could understand that these people are getting sick off of these products.
Right.
And it was around the same era.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, was it the
I'll have to try to
300
remember.
guinea pigs, that book?
Maybe.
Or 300,000 guinea pigs.
Maybe that's it.
Because that was the book where it said,
Yeah,
we are
speaking
just
true.
experimenting on people as we change these foods.
Yeah.
So it goes on to say, the most adulterated foods in 1907, sugar, candy, syrup, milk, butter, chocolate, coffee, flour, baking soda, bread, jellies. Actually, I think
That was their whole diet.
I'm doing pretty good reading. It
Yes,
was all the
you are.
staples.
Yeah.
See, Texas Education Span.
How many of them are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
No, so
13, and 14.
yeah.
So we were close. We're still there.
Yeah.
We're 16 now, but back then it was.
So it says sugar, syrup, and candies are sometimes made through a particular process by which they convert corn starch into glucose. And this is not as healthy and can be harmful to your health. That is high fructose corn syrup and corn syrup. So in 1910 they were warning about that. And then some candies are colored with poisonous matters. So that's coal tar. If you don't know this, artificial colors, flavors, and smells, like fake candles and stuff, and clones and perfumes, are made from cancer-causing coal tar. And it actually, in 2010, we learned that it was even worse, that it actually causes disruption of neurite growth or brain growth. And yellow food coloring decreased brain growth by 3,000%, blue by 5,000%, and MSG was 8,000%. But those colors then lead to things like ADHD, ADD, mental retardation, dyslexia, learning disorders. So we could actually give pregnant animals these and dictate the outcomes. Like, it was predictable, right? So this is why if you get candy from here, it's different than if you get candy in Mexico or any other country in the world. And if our colors end up in their foods, they just have warning labels that say this color is known to cause ADHD, so then you can keep your sanity and stop pretending like it's genetic or some bullcrap.
And also, there's been a recent article out, and I wish I had more time to do my research, but it's talking about M&Ms.
Yeah.
But
Well,
but we're not surprised, are we?
Have you read Twinkie Deconstructed?
I mean, when they say the green M&M does something special to you.
Oh, that's the horny one.
Yep.
Why'd you pick that one?
I didn't, because it makes sense. Because even when we didn't really know what that was, it's like, oh, we were kids, and eat the green one, ha ha ha.
Green
well,
one make you horny?
I did
How
not
does green
say
make you
that.
horny? When I see frogs, I'm just like, what's up, girl? What's up?
So, my point is that each one of those different colors do different things.
Yes. The psychology of colors.
Just in food.
You know, I was a nightmare
In
walking,
food.
psychopath talking, king of the jungle, just a gangster stalking. That's colors. Is that the
Yes, it
same
is.
thing?
I don't know.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Damn it. They know.
True colors.
I go with gangster rap, you go with that. Okay, so so candy colored with poisonous matters. Poison, right? And then butter is often made entirely from lard, tallow, and cottonseed oil, to which matters are added to make it look like rich, pure pure butter of rich creams, and that's called margarine.
Or
Oleomargarine.
oleomargarine.
Oleo. Yeah.
Oleomargarine.
My grandma had oleo.
Oh, talk a bit louder. The volume is really low. Okay.
You can't tell me what to do. So
well,
Next week we'll
you
have
know,
the
I
mic.
feel like we're talking really loud, like the other
know.
people in the offices probably, but I guess.
I feel like I'm
Thank
talking
you.
to my Nana.
Thank you.
All right. Louder.
Louder.
Louder. Okay.
Radio voice.
So, it says chocolate, coffee, and flowers are adulterated in various ways. Bakers often use ammonia, which is injurious to your health,
That's what I was talking about a while ago.
but it makes bread lighter and fluffier, so they use less ingredients and they can make more money. Baking powder is often impure, being adulterated with alum. And literally, my grandma used just alum.
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Come in a can.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It came in a can. Dr. G Health Comedy Show. Thanks, Jackie.
See, these are the kind of comments we need. So, Jackie.
Okay, good. Thanks, Heather.
All right. Then, this is one of my favorites, is low-priced jelly is made from brittle glue-like substances called gelatin, which you see in lots and lots of products.
What is gelatin made of?
Gelatin is the carcass ground up of animals.
That's what I
So,
wanted you to say.
Gummy worms are just animal carcass. Gummy bears,
Well, maybe they should just make them
carcass.
look like horses and cows and...
like animal crackers.
Yeah.
They should just make crackers that look like white people. Because I'm a cracker. Get it?
Or just people.
Why are all the crackers living at the Ritz?
I don't know. I'm confused.
It's just someone else's joke.
Oh, is it?
So,
It says here, perhaps you have heard people speak jokingly of wooden nutmegs, hickory hams, and oats made by whittling shoe pegs, all said to be the invention of the ingenious Connecticut Yankee of 50 years ago. Perhaps.
but it's so
It's
it
totally
says
off the topic.
these jelly-like substances called gelatin, which acids are added, and then unhealthy colors make them look like pure jellies from currants, strawberries, grapes, and other fruits. So again, they use animal carcass and coal tar to make cheap-ass jelly.
Mm-hmm.
And to sum it all up, this is my favorite part.
It's disgusting. I saw the video, Kaylin says.
Not only do we have artificial eggs, this is 1907. 1907. Not only do we have artificial eggs, artificial butter, adulterated wheat middlings, buckwheat that's adulterated with wheat, cider vinegar distilled from grains, lemon extract made without lemons, vanilla extract made without vanilla, but Vermont maple syrup has never been within 1,000 miles of a tree.
Of Vermont.
Nearly all cheap honey is made without the single effort of a bee. Artificial smoke is made out of poisonous drugs, which is coal tar, for the purpose of quickly curing hams and meat, which is why nitrates are more likely to cause cancer in your lunch meat than smoking cigarettes are.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I took up smoking and gave up lunch meat.
Hey, Heather. Yeah. A lot of people get sick from this stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
So then,
It's-
are you time restraining me?
yeah. We did
I will not be
we did
confined by
start.
time. Clocks have no influence in my world. Can't tell me what to do, clock. All right. And then oysters are embalmed with chemicals, which is formaldehyde. And then,
I like the word embalmed.
I know.
Ooh.
Canned fruits are preserved with antiseptic drugs. So again, if you look at like when I was a kid, just a couple years ago, when we got cheese, it would mold. It would always mold. My mom was like, "Cut the mold off! Don't throw away the cheese," which is gross to me.
Mm-hmm.
But cheese will not mold now. It's very rare that you'll get it unless you buy a health food store or something. You're not gonna get, especially shredded cheese that molds, because shredded cheese actually have has an antibiotic in there.
Anticoagulant too.
Really?
So most cheeses do, yeah.
Damn.
So it doesn't stick together and get all gross. It lasts a
That's
really long
right.
time.
That's right. So then things never go bad.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys don't know this, one of my favorite things I learned was our American bread will get you 15 years in prison and $500,000 fine in places like Singapore because it interferes with thyroid in your health. It makes people dumb, fat, and sick. So every other country in the world socialized medicine, and socialized medicine says if we let companies poison you, we will cover all your health care. You can't afford that. So just don't poison your people. So over here, hell yeah. If there's a company that can make some extra money and the stock price goes up because they're feeding you freaking flame retardant and yoga mat chemicals and bromine and chlorine and fluorine, which are neurotoxic to your thyroid, and you can make some cheap ass bread, hell yeah, America. If you have thyroid problems and you lose every bit of your money and savings because you have to go to the hospital and have surgery and do all this stuff and your life sucks for the next 30 years, who cares? Live in a box under a bridge. This is America. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But the problem is they don't tell us they changed stuff. People are chronically suffering and dying prematurely of things that they don't control. All right.
And this is why we love Dr. Garrett, because he's very passionate and very passionate about his. Yeah. Heather says, Doc G, we need to talk. And anti-caking, that's right, Kaylin. That stuff that they put in there.
Yes.
And that's in a lot of products.
Yes.
Lots of products. Let's see. Sprouts sells a cheese. It's an antibiotic that they give milk cows so that they don't get infection, and it's TBHQ free.
Okay, yeah.
And this is really decent cheese. They sell it in a pretty good sized block for like $4 or $5. And if you don't eat a lot of cheese, I mean, it can last a long time. But it molds pretty quickly. So I think there's also chemicals that we don't even know that are in ahead of the cheese before it even gets started. So we got to kind of look at the
years ago
backstory with that.
Like my daughters were, my oldest daughter, she's vegetarian. Why she wanted real butter. She's like, Dad, we just need some real butter. We don't like the fake butter. Because they know, if I put it in different things, they wouldn't know. It tastes the same.
Yeah.
But like Earth Balance or something. But she was just like, just please, we do so good. We're so healthy. I just want this one thing. I was like, okay, fine. So I went and bought like, I don't know, some Irish butter.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly's or something.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
But it was in glass, which was good. So it was in glass, so at least what can I do to give them the best option and then them just do very, very little of it and me be fine with it as a parent and then be super happy that I'm making concessions for them because they do so much healthy stuff anyways. And that butter went molded. I was not even aware butter molded, right? Because I grew up in a very synthetic world. I did not know butter would mold. Mm-hmm. Did you know that?
I don't think I've known that.
Well, when I was a kid, there was never butter that's going to last very long.
Well, mine just melts.
We would just take bites of butter. Did you ever do that?
I ate butter sugar bread.
Hell yeah!
Butter sugar white bread.
Dude, I was so white trashing when I was a kid. Ketchup sandwiches, mayo sandwiches.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Oh my god.
Anything that was in the cupboard, really, in my house.
I would look and I would just be like, I don't want to make anything. We don't know how to make anything because nobody cooks. And so it was just like, I'd search all the cupboards. I'm like, I'm just going to eat a chunk of butter. Just eat some butter. Right. I'm going to take white bread. I took my white bread on Saturday mornings, my Wonder Bread, and I would squeeze that thing into a ball. And I would just sit there and eat that ball of bread. You didn't do that?
No.
Was anybody else that bad that made a ball out of their bread and then ate it? Did you guys eat cinnamon sugar butter bread?
Butter bread? Oh yeah, for sure.
I bet they did too. Everybody did that.
So tell us, everyone, put on there. What is your favorite staple food that you eat right now?
That's a good one.
What is your favorite staple food that you eat currently? Let's see what we got. Hi, Bianca.
And one of the things, you guys,
is that Bianca?
It's Bianca.
Bianca?
Yeah, it's Bianca. So, one of the things that occasionally with patients is like, here's what you need to do. And you know, we talk about food as medicine. We talk about all the chemicals. We talk about how to balance your hormones, not take hormones, but balance them through neuroplasticity, resiliency, and then most things just go away. And once in a while, we have a patient that's just like, I'm still having thyroid problems, or I'm still having this, and I can't seem to manage. I keep going up and down, up and down. So then I usually like take a little step back and like, okay, are you getting sunlight? Are you eating healthy? Are you working 80 hours a week? Are you taking a vacation? Are you doing any kind of meditation? Are you doing anything that you should be feeling good from? Well, no. Well, then you should feel awful.
Mm-hmm.
You should.
It's a given.
You should feel awful and you should die prematurely, and that sucks, but that's the honest truth. If you don't eat biochemistry that supports your biochemistry, things aren't going to work. And you can take all the supplements and meds you want, but it's just management until you put that biochemistry back.
And in speaking with that balance, there are so many ways that your body, even if you're doing a really good job at that stuff, that there's nutrients that we don't even know our body needs more of or less of.
Right.
And that happened to me just yesterday. Is I have low potassium levels, and that can cause some serious problems.
If it goes too low or too high, you die instantly. Yeah.
Heather says potatoes and beef. Hi, Jess.
Was that Heather Aikens?
Oh, that's
Heather?
that's a different Heather.
So, yeah, meat and potatoes. She's from Texas. Johnson? Was that? Let me see. Is that Heather Johnson? Oh no.
Keep going.
No, that's not her.
No.
All right, yeah, Heather Hicks.
But
meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
That is like all American food right there, right?
Well, I mean, there's a certain amount of protein you can get from all of that, and the potatoes have good stuff in them too. So
yeah.
Just
So if you
depends
get
on where you get them.
so again, if you ate
try.
grass-fed, grass-finished, wild-caught, free-range kind of meat, it's anti-inflammatory. It really is. And then potatoes are not the problem. People eat potatoes all over the world. South America is where we got potatoes from, if you guys didn't know. And then nobody wanted these weird-ass potatoes. They wanted these round ones, and they called it pomme de terre in Europe. But the apples of the earth basically were just these round things that looked decent. But nowadays, we're eating all these twisted yams and sweet potatoes and purple potatoes and all these things that nobody would eat forever because they didn't look right with that. So
now it's art.
So potatoes, are, especially if you get purple potatoes.
Heather's from Idaho.
Oh, that's why. Come on.
Okay, I have a quick question.
Yes.
So tomatoes, it's really big right now. Everybody's growing tomatoes.
Yes.
Tomatoes. Well, how do you feel about tomatoes?
Tomatoes
as far as the dietary
are super healthy, full of nutrition. Harvard Medical School says that vine-ripened tomatoes have 241 nutrients that are not in the store. So a store-bought one is green. There's a good book called Tomatoland. They pick them hard and green, and then they put them, because that travels better. So then they put them in the back of a rig, and they pull a canister of methylethylene gas, toss it in there. That then converts it to red and ripens it, kind of like you put, if you're old enough, you have a Nana, she'd pick green tomatoes, you put it in a little bag, and then they'd turn red and get delicious, right? And then you make some BLTs. Holy crap, and they would just drip all down your face. But when she puts those in the bag and they ripen up, they're not ripening with more nutrition. The last 2 weeks of the ripening process is when the fruit pulls the most nutrients into that plant. So vine ripen is going to not transport very well, so that becomes sauces and ketchup and stews and frozen food and frozen vegetables. But if you grow it yourself, make sure to pick those things ripe. So a ripe tomato is just packed with all kinds of nutrients. The other thing is, a real tomato is a cherry tomato. Do you know that?
No.
Historically, tomatoes are that big. But then they would have a mutated one, a deformed one. And then they would breed that deformed one with another deformed one, and they'd get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then they created these stew tomatoes, right? Or beefsteak tomatoes. Beefsteak tomatoes have less nutrition than the cherry tomatoes. And cherry tomatoes have a burst of flavor, and they're a little sweet. So I would like put a bowl of those in my car, and especially the multicolored ones, and just eat those as breakfast,
just like,
right?
Just cherry bombs.
Yeah.
Hey, Heather says she's allergic to tomatoes, oranges, and citric acid. So, so in conjunction to that comment, are tomatoes inflammatory?
No.
They are not.
No.
Is that a myth? Because
Yes.
I've been hearing that a lot lately.
So we do this thing as Americans. We poison people and then we blame food for all its problems, right? So we feed people 150 pounds of sugar and then we're like, whoa, stay away from potatoes. They can make you fat. Well, the people in the countries that eat the potatoes fat? Well, no, but, okay, I'm not sure how that works, right? But we take a bunch of synthetic estradiols and estradiol from dairy and we feed it to people, and then suddenly we have all this endometriosis and fibroids and breast cancer, uterine cancer, infertility, and then we say, it must be soy, because soy has the word estrogen in it, phytoestrogen. It must be soy causing all those problems. But the same people that tell you to stay away from soy will tell you to eat flax, but flax has 3 times the amount of estrogen as soy.
Oh my gosh.
And so the
I didn't
American
know that.
Cancer Association says soy is going to cause cancer. The American Breast Institute says soy prevents cancer. But the way that you look at this stuff is you say, is this true in animals? Is this true for the world's healthiest, happiest populations? So over here, we're just like, oh my God, I have all these thyroid problems because I eat too much sugar, and then cortisol crashes, and then thyroid tries to pick up. I don't eat for thyroid because I'm not eating no kelp, right? I'm not going to eat no wild-caught fish. We eat more coffee than we do fish by pound, so your thyroid tanks, and then they go, oh my God, it's probably tomatoes messing with your thyroid.
Okay.
And you're like, God dang it,
That makes
it is
sense.
not tomatoes. Because the countries that are skinnier, healthier, and happier eat tomatoes.
Lots of tomatoes.
It's just like I lose my mind when
You're
it comes to this stuff because we love gimmicks. We love blaming nuts. We love blaming seeds. We love blaming legumes. But the healthiest, happiest people freaking eat those. And if we'd stop poisoning ourselves with all the non-foods that interrupt our biochemistry, then we wouldn't have to sit there and figure this stuff out.
There you have it.
Mm-hmm.
And so same like the Europeans. I mean,
Who's peeing?
European.
Oops. Uh-oh. I'm getting diaper.
We need to get him on stage sometime, don't we? But anyway, so
You know what
yeah,
stage
they
name
also
is?
they eat tomatoes, and they eat like cheese, they eat
Yeah.
oils,
Right.
olive oils and stuff, and they drink a lot
But
of
it's
wine.
totally different though.
So yeah, but that's my point is, over here we're all like, oh, wine consumption, too much of it,
Right.
tomatoes are causing inflammation. Well, we
Right.
gotta look at the source too.
Right.
And I think
Yeah,
that's what you're getting ready to say.
And people all the time will be like, oh my God, alcohol is killing people. But that's beer. That's white
All
wine.
the wheats.
That's sugar wine, right?
Yeah.
So we're over here drinking lots of that stuff, and then we blame alcohol, but the healthiest countries eat or drink red wine,
That's
which
right.
is medicine, which actually has medicinal effects, immediate medicinal cardiovascular effects, and mood and everything else. But if you're drinking beer and you're comparing that to red wine, it basically tells people I shouldn't drink red wine, like the healthy people do. So.
Especially now, all the beers are coming out with like all the fruit flavors, the citric and.
Are you a White Claw girl?
Oh no.
Good. Good.
Does anyone know what that is?
I'd like to meet a girl that drinks White Claw.
White Claw.
It's like the soccer mom alcohol because you can't really taste the alcohol at all.
Oh well, there
So
you
it's
go.
like drinking it. It's like drinking a Truly or a.
Oh, is that what it
Perrier
is?
thing.
Yeah.
But it has alcohol, but you can't taste the alcohol. So then they're all just like White
It's
Claw
like
on it.
flavored spritzers.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're running
We're
close
past
to
time.
time.
We're past time.
So are you? Are you really? Well, we started about 5 minutes late.
Oh, did we? Okay.
So, do y'all have any questions before we kind of sign off for the
Bell.
night?
Go bell and go drink a bunch of red wine.
What was the question I asked earlier? I've already forgot. What is your favorite current
your
food?
favorite foods, like your favorite go-to healthy foods.
Like White Claw is nasty. Heather says.
So no potato steak and White Claw for her.
Yeah.
No.
So if you have questions, I would love to come back on here. Maybe we'll be a little bit more organized next time.
We're sidetracked.
Probably not.
It's all good. This is not about us. This is about them. Okay? They take us where we want to go.
So.
Or you do.
Well, I'm just going to say thanks, everybody. If you want to keep on there for just a few more minutes, I'm going to say thank you for watching tonight, and I was really glad to be here.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. It's good to be back on the show again, and start this back up.
Kaylin says avocado. Me too.
Next week.
And cashews right now.
Next week, episode 171 will be the 5 things that keep you and your family sick.
Okay.
5 things. All right. So that's all kind of like tangent to what we're already talking about. So we're going to go the next step with this and get a little bit deeper, and then that might be the next couple talks depending on how effective we are.
Okay.
So, are you going to be on next week? Look at
I
that.
think I'll be in town. I'll check my schedule.
Oh, that night, Dr. G, I'm washing my hair.
Dr. G, how can I come see you? Heather, Dr. G will get in touch with you for sure.
Yeah. All right. Bye, you guys. I really appreciate you guys joining us. This also is parked on Facebook video, on my page of video. You have to scroll through all the other videos, but anything that's about an hour is the Dr. G show. So there's 169 other episodes that you can go through. They're not labeled, so you just have to keep watching.
Yeah, and be sure and share. We're just getting started out here again, so.
Yep. Yeah, please share. It's ignorance and complacency that keeps people sick. Not knowing things have changed keeps people sick that could be living a lot healthier, happier lives.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, you guys.
Thanks.
We'll have a mic next time.
Yeah.